Pump it up while you dancing, pump it.
Make my.
Ow. We are Pelotonics.
So let's kick it. Kick it.
So you know what? March is Women's History Month.
Yeah,
It is.
And it's, we had Black History Month in February, the small month, and now we have Women's History Month.
They like to group us all together, I guess.
they do.
Right.
Knock it all out in the next few months and then be like, all right.
And then we're done.
Then we're finished.
And it's actually, it's 31 days in March. So we have 31 days to celebrate women. And women, I mean, come on. Women, are amazing.
The future is female.
The future is definitely female. So we decided today that we were going to talk about being a woman, right? And we invited Marcus here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, why am I? Okay, I get why Dad's not here, but then why am I here?
Well, we want to talk about motherhood as well.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
That's all the aspects of being, part of the aspects of being, a woman.
Exactly.
So,
one of the aspects.
one of the
like you said,
aspects.
yes.
Yeah.
Like I said,
one
I can be sort of, the outsider too, I guess.
Yeah,
like
you
I'm
might
gonna,
learn something.
Okay. You gotta learn him something.
learn it in there too. I come with a fresh perspective in terms of just like how I approach women, because at least throughout my childhood, there've been a lot of like female sort of like role models in my life for sure. Including a lot of your friends and family and all that other stuff.
That's true. That's
Right.
interesting. And it's interesting how mothers, some people don't have children, but they're like motherly. They take on those traits,
Right.
of being motherly.
Of being nurturing
Right.
and caring and that kind of a thing.
So is that what a mother is?
I think that's what a mother should be.
Okay.
Because, I think that I remember during an episode of a show that we were watching, there was a character whose mother was like low-key terrible.
Oh.
And they talked about the effect that this mother had on her son. And her son was like messed up.
Yeah.
Like he was cold, but his mother wasn't really the motherly caring type necessarily. So I think that a mother should be caring and affectionate, because when you have a messed up mother, people just
It's sad.
that's a different kind of messed up, and it is sad.
It is a different kind of messed up, and it's like, how do you resolve that? You want to be fair to the children, but at the same time, since the mother made these mistakes or made these choices, the children are going to get caught up in it. And
Yeah,
that happens.
definitely.
It really does happen. It's pretty sad. I love being a mother. I am very blessed and fortunate to have two beautiful children. So that's that's awesome. And being a mother, I think, takes on all forms. So there is the nurturing and there is the caring, but all mothers are different.
Definitely.
That's true.
That's
They're
definitely
different.
true.
They operate different. They move differently.
Right.
And the relationship between a mother and child is very strong. It's a strong bond.
Definitely.
And
I would imagine so. You carried us for like 9 months at a time.
Right.
that's right.
That's
right.
that's not something that could be easily sort of like separated. I would imagine. Again, outside of perspective, I don't really know.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's with the mother, but it's also with the children. So the children have that bond too with their mothers.
Yeah.
Like you have these horrible mothers, like for whatever reason they're horrible mothers. Their children still love them.
Yeah, no, it's that bond. It's just the fact that you came from this person, you're one half of this person, and even if this person is like terrible, that connection, that longing for, wanting to, talk with and be with someone who created you.
A mother's love.
Right. It's something, special and
Right.
Right.
So since we are, it is Women's History Month and we're talking about mothers, tell me, how good of a mother am I?
Oh wow, that's what she really wanted
That's
to
always
do.
what it kind of leads into, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. Wow.
Okay.
So what's the feedback?
Yeah. Can you answer me?
So I know for me, definitely, according to, yes, Dr. Phil. I watched Dr.
Here we
Phil.
go.
The most important role model in a person is the same-sex parent.
The same-sex parent, okay.
So for me, you taught me how to be a woman,
Right.
And again, as another person who we watched, Iyanla Van Zant, she says that, your parents and your mother, your father, they teach you. Whether you believe it or not, they teach you something. Even if they weren't even present, you learn something from
that.
them. Right. You learn how to be. And, I would say that you're a pretty good example.
Thank you. Pretty good example?
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
If we were doing a report card, I'd give you an A+.
Oh.
I give you a strong A.
Strong A. Notice how we didn't put the plus in there.
I know. That's why you're my favorite.
It's on
I'm your
camera.
favorite.
It's on camera, y'all.
I mean, you say that, but I'm pretty sure I'm her favorite.
And what have you learned from what? Because again, it's about motherhood, but it's about being a woman as well. What have you learned through your years in reference to women in motherhood?
As far as like,
I would say just how. First of all, I want you to tell me how good of a mother I am.
of course.
But second,
I need that validation first off.
nothing wrong with being validated.
It's true.
But no, the second thing is how has that impacted you? Yeah.
I would say, obviously, yeah, you're an A+ mom. You're great. I learned a lot from you. I learned, as far as how to sort of like carry myself, because I have dad, in terms of like how to carry myself as a man and whatnot. But I have you as far as like carrying myself through life in different situations. You know what I mean? That aren't necessarily like, we gender a lot, but but there's also sort of like universal sort of like human things, and a lot of that kind of stuff I get from you. Just like learning how to take care of myself, basically. Like learning how to get stuff done, because you get stuff done. That I got from you. That I got, I think, from you. As far as like, okay, I have this task, and this is these are the steps that I need to do in order to complete it and whatnot. That's something I picked up absolutely from sort of like you, organizational skills. Like a lot of school stuff. That I know and how to sort of like carry myself so I can get through. From you. But that's also, I guess, your educational background too.
Right.
And I think how sort of like other women influence me, like I said before, there's a lot of like female sort of like role models, a lot of your friends that are sort of like been around, they, just sort of how they carry themselves throughout life, and, in terms of how they raise their kids and we're friends with their kids, but also, other skills sort of like, like our Auntie Ellen, she cooks, like we don't get that from you.
You don't get it from me.
Right.
We
don't get that from you. So, that's like sort of like one aspect. And I guess it sort of and I think most of all, it sort of teaches you sort of like how to sort of handle women, I think because of those sort of like female...
Hansel?
Uh-oh.
I don't... What I mean by handle, I'm trying to say it in not that kind of way.
Right.
You know
okay.
what I mean?
Okay. Just need clarification.
Okay.
Maybe interact is a better word.
Interact. Yeah. Maybe.
Okay.
I'll go with interact. What I'm trying to get at with that is, how to, exactly, how to interact with women, how to be respectful towards women, Because you see a lot of cats out there, kind of having this certain sort of attitude with women, and it's like, why? And I think because
a lot of the times, they don't have a good relationship with their mother.
Yeah.
And when they act out against women.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think because of the role models of you and your friends, and and having Miya sort of little sister, and even like her friends and stuff like that, has taught me sort of like how to treat women, with respect, because they're not just this, it's like this sort of like stigma that women are another species or whatever to men, and it's like no, they're just people. Just treat them like people.
So the interacting with women, you learn that from other women, and but you also learn that from your father.
Oh, absolutely.
And other men, right?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
You see how men interact, because a lot of times it's so fascinating. The way that sons watch their fathers deal with their mother is how you kind of deal with your mother or a significant other. That really has an impact as well. And I would say your grandparents, your grandmothers had a big influence on you also, because that's a different relationship for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a different perspective.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely.
I think it's definitely important to see women in, us women in different aspects of life as well, doing different things.
Yes.
And not just in these stereotyped roles. And I think that we've had great exposure, like you said, between mom and grandma and, our aunts and, friends and things like that.
Yeah.
People who we've seen that, some of them do bake and, cook and stuff like that. But, some of them have jobs. Some of them, well-rounded just people in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we, especially I know for me, like, I don't have to limit myself and say, oh, I have to be a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
I've seen different kinds of women
Yes.
throughout my life modeling for me.
Yeah.
Like you said, you, grandma, Auntie Ellen, doing their thing.
Right.
So that representation is key, y'all.
Yeah,
In all aspects.
All aspects. It's important, they taught me how to be a woman. Whether it was a realized action or not.
Right, exactly. Yeah, sometimes you just need to sit down and reflect on the lessons that you've learned and take it in, because I think sometimes we don't pause enough to do that. When something happens, we pause and we take stock of where certain things that we do came from. But I think we should do that often, because it's important to honor people for what they've done for you now.
Right.
Not next week, not down the road, but now. And I think by reflecting and kind of unpacking what you've learned, it helps you to acknowledge that and to honor that and to honor the people who have made that impact in your life.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had curiosity. Have you always wanted to be a mom, like from young, or? Because I feel like I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I've always wanted to be a mother."
So when I was younger, I really didn't. I wasn't into children. Like, I didn't want to babysit. I wasn't interested in that. But funny enough, we were watching old footage of me talking to my grandfather, and I had a job working in a retail store, and I was like 17 years old. I had a job.
Wild scene.
What's that?
That was wild scene.
I know.
That was so
Yeah,
funny
they
seeing
were,
them
yeah.
young. It's like,
It was funny. So I was like 17 years old, and I was saying that I had a job at a retail store, and I was also working at a camp. And I didn't. And when my grandfather asked me about that, I said, "Yeah, I like working with children." I don't know where that even came from, because I remember not really, when I was maybe younger teenager, not really being around kids too much. But I really. Then I said to myself, I really want to be a mom. I want to have 3 boys, and that was my focus. I want to have 3 boys, whatever. And I don't know why I said that, but I thought it would be easier. But then, Marcus was born, so I had my one boy, right? I'm like, yes, I got a boy. And then when you were born and we knew that you were going to be a girl, I was elated.
Really?
Yeah, I was really happy that I did have a girl. And I think it's you have different relationships with your children, whether they're male or female.
Right.
Yeah.
And those relationships are priceless, and they're unique, and they're special. And as mothers, it's incumbent upon us to make each child feel special and validated and loved, and and that you have a special relationship.
Right.
Like like you were saying, influences. Your Nana has had an influence like that on me, because every relationship that she had, everybody thought that she was their best friend. She was able to create relationships like that with people where it was special, and she made them feel that special, like they only had that bond.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, she carried it.
Right. Yeah. So
100%.
that's that's an influence.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
it's awesome being a woman.
Yeah, I love being a woman.